Welcome back to another episode of Recapping The Single Life. We are already at the season finale, y'all. I cannot believe it. This season flew by so fast, and the only thing I feel like I've learned is that people really gotta learn how to be okay being alone. Anyway, this episode is gonna be a hoot and a half, so let's dive right in. You know what that means. Sit down, buckle up, and let's ride out the final episode of season 10 together. Let's head on over to Greece for our final time to touch base with Chantel. Last episode, Chantel's friends try to make Chantel feel better about Giannis's sudden and abrupt lack of affection by suggesting that maybe she hasn't been desperate enough for Giannis to really feel secure about her feelings in him. So Chantel decides to take that advice and meet up with Giannis one last time to get some answers and clear up any misunderstandings. The divorce squad are all back at the rental home, and Chantel is getting ready for another day of full glam. Chantel wants to go on this date because she's starting to catch feelings, and after what happened at the Snail Festival, she really wants Giannis to give her an explanation.
It could be my perspective of what happened at the Snail Festival is totally wrong. He deserves one last chance to explain himself. I think he's worth it.
She says that she is not a mind reader, so she is going to get all the information she needs to be able to make a decision about how she is going to move forward with their relationship.
I can't read his mind. And if he is not going to communicate with me, then that's a red flag.
I think it's so funny that she is saying that she's not a mind reader, and if Giannis is not able to communicate his feelings to her, that's a deal breaker, considering she just told us that she thinks communication is hard and she just expects people to know what she wants.
Sometimes it's hard to communicate. Sometimes I just expect.
Chantel has no idea what Giannis has planned for their date, so she puts on a pair of pumps, a skin-tight dress, and heads on out.
Dating is new for me still. Because of everything that I've been through, my guard is up extra strong.
I don't think she knows what that means. Girl, you are catching feelings for a guy you met 5 days ago, who spent the last date completely ignoring you. What guards? Chantel arrives at the date destination, which is a soccer field.
Welcome.
We're at a field.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. This is it. This is it.
This is it.
Giannis is in his soccer uniform, and he tells Chantel that this is where he spends most of his time, and he feels like he can be the most at ease and himself. He tells us that his attitude at the Snail Festival was because he felt like Chantel was just gonna say goodbye and leave forever, and he would just be a distant memory of that one time in Greece. And these thoughts made him close himself off emotionally. I do not know why Giannis would feel this way, considering Chantel has been literally slapping him in the face with desperation.
She needs to see more my emotions and my feelings for her. I really wish we had more days here. I think it would be completely different.
I cannot understand how people catch feelings so fast. For me, I took like 8 months of working full-time with my partner to even consider going on a first date with him. Giannis takes her hand and walks around the field and proceeds to explain what soccer is.
It's a team sport where you have teammates and it's not just you.
I like how Giannis is explaining that a team sport requires a team. While Giannis is talking, Chantel looks so effing bored, and you can tell that this was not the date that she had expected. Giannis goes on to explain that this concept of teamwork that he was talking about is like having a partner who has your back, and that is what he's looking for in a relationship, and he tells her that this is the vibe that he gets from her. Chantel's heart starts to melt as she flashes a quick smile, but then she quickly remembers, oh right, no more Mr. Nice Guy, I'm here for some answers. And she goes right back to scowling, and she confronts Giannis about why she has to initiate all of the affection in their relationship.
It's not that I don't like you. Of course I like you. You're very beautiful. You're like, I think...
Oh my god. I like how he is like, I like you. You're so beautiful and you're so... beautiful. You really cannot think of any other qualities that you like in Chantel. He couldn't think of a single other adjective. Funny, smart, adventurous, kind. I guess it's good that you know he can't lie? Without actually having answered any of her questions or relieving any of her doubts, Giannis goes on to kiss Chantel, and she melts like butter.
This side of Giannis is something that I need. I feel like there's something there. I like the spark. I can't just let it go.
Compatibility, not chemistry. If you want to boink Giannis because he's hot and he's got a sculpted body and he's super toned and he's got an ass that you probably could squeeze for days. I'm sorry, what were we talking about? Then go ahead and boink him. Boink him till you are blue in the face and your boobies fall off. But do not date him. You two have nothing in common. Your dates have been like 80% silence.
I like you.
Okay, really? Okay.
Sir, I ask you again, what do you like about her? And this is not me saying that Chantel is absolute garbage. There's absolutely no way a man can love her. That's not what I'm saying. I am just asking Giannis to genuinely give me one other trait of Chantel's that he is attracted to, because he has only said beautiful and then paused because he couldn't think of anything else. Chantel tells us that she's definitely falling for Giannis and she wants to see where this goes when she leaves, but she doesn't know if she should really be putting this relationship on a pedestal.
I want to see where this is gonna go when I leave, but I gotta be realistic with myself and the situation.
The two kick the soccer ball around some more, and Chantel says that they have to wrap things up because she has to head home for a really early flight the next day.
I'm leaving tomorrow. What does that mean for us? What do you think we are right now?
Chantel tells us that she doesn't want this to be a fling. She wants something real and genuine with Giannis, but she just does not know if that is what he is looking for right now.
So would you say we're friends?
No. More than that.
Yeah.
More than that? Bro, you are barely acquaintances. Giannis goes on to say that in the past, he's liked someone and then he went for it super hard and turns out it was not what he was expecting and the both of them ended up getting hurt. So he wants to make sure that these initial feelings he's feeling for her are not superficial. Chantel tells him that it would be a real show of faith if Giannis would be willing to make a visit to see her back in Atlanta.
As a man, I'll come first, but then you follow.
Do you want me to come back here?
Yeah?
Okay, why not?
I'm sorry, was she not expecting to come back to Greece? Was she just gonna have Giannis visit her once in Atlanta and if things went well, start the K1 visa process? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but damn. Chantel reflects on how things feel so different between Giannis and Pedro, but there are also a lot of similarities in how they met, which makes her very apprehensive. Giannis and Chantel kiss it out and then they say their goodbyes. The divorce squad are packed up and heading out, and as the van gets ready to leave, they are stopped by a surprise visitor. It's Giannis! He arrives to give Chantel some roses and tells us that he had to send her off with one more kiss to show her that he was serious about what they had discussed the night before. The divorce squad are in the back squealing their heads off at this romantic gesture, and Chantel is just over the moon.
Giannis coming here this morning just solidifies that he is serious about me and about us. The old Chantel is gone, and this is the new me. Giannis could be my next fairy tale.
I don't really know if you can say you've grown up if you are literally doing the same thing with a new person, so much so that it makes you apprehensive because the way you met them is exactly the same. Let's head on over to Miami for the very last time to see what Miss Debbie is up to now. Last episode, Reuben sat Debbie down to express his concerns over what Julian told him regarding her previous relationship with Osama. Debbie is able to assuage Reuben's doubts enough for him to say that he would like to continue to get to know her and possibly pursue a relationship with her. However, Reuben does tell us that he's now going to definitely be proceeding with some caution. Debbie is back at the hotel packing up, and she's super salty that Julian's inability to mind his own business has tainted the waters of her and Reuben's relationship. Julian enters the room and Debbie immediately confronts him about his indiscretion.
What the hell did you tell Reuben?
I told him what you told me. You're like, oh, I can live in Miami. Oh, this is my people.
I said that to you, not to him.
Debbie goes on to say that she has no plans on moving to Miami, and even if she was, it would not be for a long time, and what Julian said made her look desperate.
You nasty sometimes and made me look bad.
Made yourself look bad.
Oh, that is some gaslighting. I get that Julian is being protective and he's kind of having some flashbacks of her previous relationship, but to sabotage her relationship so obviously and continue to take no culpability in it is not okay.
And you brought up the O word.
Osama. And when were you gonna tell him?
I wanted to be the one to tell Reuben.
Absolutely, Debbie should be the one to bring this up. It is a very sensitive topic. It is something that she's very embarrassed about. And Julian brought it up in such a negative manner. Like, my mom is so dumb and people always take advantage of her and she's so desperate for love, she'll do anything. I'm not saying he's particularly wrong in that assessment, but it's not his business to tell.
When are you gonna forgive me for going to Morocco? Can you let me move on?
Mom, I forgave you the minute you came home.
I don't know. I feel like if someone did you dirty and you forgive them, that means that you will not throw it back in their face and use it against them in the future. 'Cause if you do, then it clearly means you haven't let it go and it still holds a negative space in your heart. Julian apologizes for overstepping his boundaries and says that he only did what he did because he loves her and he does not want her to get hurt again. He says that going forward, he will keep his mouth shut and instead will only call him out should Reuben do anything wrong. Debbie tells Julian to head to the airport without her since Reuben is going to take her to the airport himself so that the two of them can have some last moments together alone. Reuben picks her up and the ride to the airport is pretty awkward, especially considering how lively these two had been before Julian came in and flung his poop all over the walls.
The thing is, we're not talking and I'm reading the body language and it doesn't look really good.
Throughout the ride, Reuben keeps reciting these idioms like, the seeds have been sown, or things are just starting to brew, and you know, when you keep saying things like that, but there is no other conversation or like supporting claims, to me, it just sounds like you're trying to reassure me so that things aren't awkward while we are together, and then when I leave, you get to kind of wash your hands clean of me and not feel super bad about it. The two of them trade some sweet words, he gives her a peck on the lips, and then sends her on her way. Lastly, let's head on over to Los Angeles for the very last time to meet up with Princess Natalie. Last episode, Natalie and her mother met up with Michael, and Natalie tells us that despite not having spoken to Michael for the past year, and also dating another man entirely on top of that, she still thinks that she loves him, she thinks that Michael still loves her, and she is super ready for Michael to put a baby in her. Michael and Natalie drop off Natalie's mother so that they can go off on their own to try and reconcile. Natalie admits to us that her mother has been putting a lot of pressure on her for this to work out, but that she totally understands because her mother loves Michael and she just wants the best for her daughter.
One right decision can change my life and make it easier and beautiful and normal.
Therapy! The answer is and has always been therapy. Natalie and Michael make small talk, and it's pretty obvious that Michael does not really want to be there. He looks pretty damn uncomfortable being alone with her.
You should have seen Michael's eyes when he first saw me. It was like that. The way Michael looked at me, we should write a book about it.
Michael tells us that it's nice to see Natalie and that recently he has been thinking about fresh starts and new beginnings. The two walk along the water and then go on to sit on a bench. Natalie tells him that she's been thinking about a family lately and how they never really got a chance to pursue that. She said that COVID obviously made things hard on them and that her desire to be in the industry was so great that she went and burned the bridge between her and him.
But now I'm in LA, and I realized that I lost something really important, much more than money, work, career, or anything like that. I lost family.
Michael agrees and does not offer any words to comfort her or pacify her guilt. Natalie feels like this is a now or never situation, and she holds nothing back and throws her dignity to the ground.
You know, I was like thinking, if we start talking, and would we consider ever coming back and have a child together?
Ma'am, it has been a year since you two have talked. And the first thing you ask is if you would consider coming back and putting a baby in you? Not, do you think we have a chance of getting back together or working things out, just pop a baby in me. you clearly do not care about him. Or for that matter, you don't care about having an actual relationship with him. You just want a baby out of him. Just go back to the fertility clinic then. You can't say that you don't want to do artificial insemination because you want a baby with someone you love and who loves you back, and then go off to someone you do not love to have a baby with them. Michael does not beat around any bushes, and he gives her a straight, clear response.
No,
Why?
because I'm ready to move on, Natalie.
Have you met someone?
No, but I'm hoping I can meet someone.
Natalie is crushed and starts basically begging him to love her.
But I still love you. I care for you.
You've had a relationship with other people. No.
Listen, like one guy, Josh, that's it. I barely call it a relationship.
Do you guys remember when I told you about my former friend Amy? This conversation that Natalie is having with Michael is like straight cut and paste from my past. It is giving me some war flashbacks.
So now I'm your backup plan or what?
I care about you and You're my
There is
husband.
no me and you. You made that choice, Natalie.
Man, Michael is laying it down so freaking real right now, and I do not think Natalie was expecting a reality check this harsh. But wow, does she need it.
You just told me that you have traded family, me, and everything for what you want in life. This is what you wanted and you got it.
Michael goes on to say that the grass is not always greener on the other side, and she cannot backtrack to him.
I loved you. I always did.
I loved the out of you. But when you left, I just felt like my love and everything was not good enough.
Natalie starts to turtle. She physically retreats into this like non-existent shell because the reality of the world is starting to crush her. Natalie's like, oh, Michael, why don't we just be friends? And then like later after some time has passed, we can talk about this again. And then Michael is like, yeah, we can be friends. That's totally fine. But I said, I'm not putting a baby in you.
She left, and she's still not happy. Natalie doesn't know what she wants at the end of the day. She just wants to hit the finish line with everything.
It is wild to see Natalie use the same manipulation tactics she used on Josh, on Michael, and you can tell that she is getting frustrated that it is not working this time. Michael's over here like, I'm ready to move on, and Natalie's like, to who? And Michael is like, someone, anyone. And Natalie is like, see, you don't have anyone, I don't have anyone, we should just be together and make a baby.
I'm gonna fight for you. I'm not letting you just like that out of my life. It's not gonna happen.
This would have been a lovely sentiment if you literally weren't the one to walk out of the relationship to begin with. You are not fighting for him. You are fighting for you. Everything has been about you. You left him to pursue your dream. You dated Josh to further your career. You want Michael to come back to fulfill your desire for a family. Michael ends with telling Natalie that he is going to go forward with the steps to make their divorce final.
You can't.
Well, I
Mama
can.
loves you.
Yeah.
I care for you.
And then Natalie goes to walk off by herself to cry alone in the darkness.
He cannot forgive me. I'm not divorcing him. He's my family. You don't divorce family.
I cannot believe that she is the one acting like she got abandoned. Michael is over here saying, you left me. And her response is, yeah, but that was a year ago. That doesn't count. I can't imagine what the conversation is gonna look like that she has to have with her mother when she gets back. Because her mother, and her for that matter, definitely thought that Michael was gonna put a baby in her, like tonight. And with that, my Panda Pals, we have come to the end of this recap. To the end of season 10 of The Single Life. Now we have the tell-all coming up. I don't know how I'm gonna film this. I might break it up again to just point out individual couples that stood out, or I might just do one whole video. I just get nervous that that option is gonna mean my video is gonna be like 5 hours long, and nobody wants that. Least of all me, because that's gonna take like 5 days to edit, and I have a job. But we will eventually see, because next week is gonna come around inevitably. And the tell-all looks spicy, so I cannot wait. In other news, I'm looking to cover a new show after the tell-alls, and I know I'm gonna be doing Happily Ever After, but are there any other shows that you guys would like your friendly neighborhood Panda Pal to recap for you? Let me know what you think in the comments below so that I can kind of get a gauge on what everyone is kind of interested in. Other than that, I hope to see you guys next time, and as always, thanks for not letting me ride this train wreck alone. Bye!